Hey you guys, I hope everyone's doing very, very well. And today, y'all, we're going to tap into visceral lessons, embodied truth, and taking your power back. Always taking your power back. Every day, all day. Okay? So, I found this concept just really interesting, and I hope you guys enjoy it. All right. So today's message is a capstone message. Okay. It's one of those teachings that ties everything together at the end. The kind that isn't black and white, but very nuanced, very gray. We live in a world of gray. Okay. And finding that angle of maybe choosing the black or the white, right? Those are the confirmed paths, but we stay and live pretty much in that gray, okay? So very gray and honestly hard to keep in a straight line, right? I'm going to do my best to bring it through clearly and slowly enough, because I really want you guys to grasp these concepts, okay? So the word spirit keeps giving me for this group is visceral, all right? So, and for the souls who've called in this message, you will hear this loud and clear, okay? Visceral is not optional here. It's part of the lesson, okay? The situations you guys have been through, you've been living through, wasn't just emotional or mental. It was felt in the body, okay? Everything you guys we feel within ourselves, right? Like I was even saying in the last message, it's what we feel and our soul is always urging us to is not always going to align immediately with our thoughts and our mental thinking, right? Which is totally okay. That's normal. I feel like many of you have already had at least one very visceral tower moment tied to this situation, your situation, something sudden, shocking, or destabilizing even. Something that didn't go the way you expected, something that knocked you off balance or made you question what you thought you already understood, right? So, and that tower energy, which is Mars energy, can involve the body sexuality, competition, strategy, or power dynamics, all right? So for many of you, this wasn't abstract, it was embodied, right? It was the feeling of going through the experience, right? So, but here's the key. There is another visceral experience. One you've either just had or are about to have, okay? And this one is the answer you've been looking for, okay? And it's the answer on two levels. So let's look at the first level. The puzzle piece clicking into place for you. Okay, on the first level, this experience answers the questions you've been actively asking. Something about how this situation unfolded confused you. What you thought things meant. What you thought people's actions meant. How you thought it would play out, right? None of it lined up clearly. Or cleanly, okay? And you've been trying to square that circle in your mind, all right? So you've been engaging with this philosophically, maybe questioning relationships, questioning spirituality, questioning purpose, your purpose, right? In this lifetime, questioning why things happen the way they did, right? And that brings up a lot of feelings. There's anger, there's anxiety, there's maybe even happiness, there's relief. All the above, right? In this visceral moment, this embodied realization that you've gone through or about to go through, right, is the final puzzle piece, okay? It's not something you reason your way into. It's something that snaps into place, okay? When it clicks, it's deeply satisfying. It feels complete. You feel regulated even, your nervous system feels calmer and just everything is smoother. You are in a more peaceful place than you were obviously when tower moments were happening to you. It feels complete. It feels wholesome. All right. You feel comfortable and satisfied and happier. So it's the finishing product. You're it's finished, right? Something has fully come to completion. So not because it's simple, and most of these tower moments that occur in our lives are not simple, right? They are a huge trajectory to see something outside of what your stagnation has been. And it's because it's true. It's seeing truth. It's seeing elevation within self and around you. It's like seeing through that the veil, right? The truth. So the second level, embodied spiritual understanding. So the second level will be spiritual, right? This experience is teaching you how spirit actually communicates with you directly, okay? Opening up that line of communication with God. Most of us, right, especially in Western conditioning, seek aha moments, right? Through the mind. These are like epiphany moments. They can be large, they can be small, but they're seated. Like they're grounding moments for you to like, and they stick, right? They stick and they are seated in there. It's like you're going to now you're going to plant and grow something from that moment, right? You see the truth. You're seeing through the veil. These are moments and what we seek in general, right? We want things to make sense. We want things to be logical, right? Because that is the thinking brain. That's the mind, right? So, but as we're talking about, we're diving into spirit. And with that, with spirit, right, being connected to spirit, which is like our, kind of like the end goal, you guys, that is like full completion of, being in this earthly plane and having the connection to the Most High God. Okay, so there is another way of knowing. And this is what spirit is trying to tell all of us, okay? An embodied way, right? The feeling, the intuition, the knowing, okay? That's not being logically told to us, seen to us, or us researching it. We can do that after. Once you're feeling it, you're grounding in your truth, your intuition. So a knowing that rises through the body, even like that Kundalini awakening, right? That is going to be the highest peak of like full ascension. So, and once you experience that, you understand why words can only ever point to the truth, like a finger pointing at the moon. And the finger isn't the moon, the experience is, okay? That's why spirit keeps emphasizing the word embodied. This is all feeling, right? Connecting fully to the feeling within, the intuition within, right? Clearing out the mind to connect solely with the embodied intuition feeling. Okay, so the body as the classroom, right? So this situation, especially for those involved in, say, now we're going to take it back to like an experience, okay? Those involved in a third-party dynamic has been a classroom, an experience, right? And the body has been central to it. The body may have initiated the experience, the desire, the lust, the insecurity, feeling inadequate, feeling desired, feeling threatened even. So for some, it was their own body. For others, someone else's body entering the dynamic, okay? That like third party kick. But the body triggered the tower moment. And remember, I'm just giving an example. And then came the internal visceral responses. There can be shame, there can be fear, there can be still the lust, there can be pain. So these emotions aren't bad. They're not bad per se. They're data, okay? But emotions are not always truth, right? And when left unconscious and not dove into or like really understood, right? They distort perception. So that distortion becomes the first karmic obstacle. Wow. Obstacle, right? So karmic obstacles, and they're not always, just like third parties, you guys. Like this can be even within career. This can be our own mindset, okay? Karmically self-doubt running through the fears alone, right? So karmical obstacles and energetic sovereignty, right? Coming back to like our divinity, our wholesomeness within ourselves, knowing we are worth it wherever we are in life, whatever we're going through, you are enough always, okay? So many of you are working through karmas, right? That aren't about punishment. It's never punishment. They're about clarity. They are to clear up the mind and what our actions we're taking, our thought patterns, right? It goes from the smallest thing to the greatest thing, which, could be that third party that we brought in, or creating a bigger mess within a relationship or something such as that, right? They are experiences in our life, right? Lessons to be learned to get more clear-minded, get on the right path, right? And they're for your elevation. All things that we go through, and you're always in the right place in that right time where you need to be, okay? Because you're moving through it, you're having an experience, and that's why they always say look outside of the hawk view of the experience to see where is the lesson in this? How can I learn from this? Okay. And that is how you can clear things up a lot quicker and stay in a positive mindset to make positive, clear changes, right? So it's for elevation, lessons to be learned and not entertained then again later in life, and or to see the red flags, right? Before you end up diving into something that you've already learned the lesson from. Okay, you're like, not backtracking. I'm not backtracking. I'm moving forward. I see what that is. I've learned that. I keep moving forward, right? So hence, this is literally why we learn lessons. It's for our elevation, you guys. Overall, that's it. It's not punishment. It is for clarity and growth alone. It's just like assumptions that once felt true that maybe you were in have knotted themselves up, right? And now need to be untangled, okay, and learned. So this is embodied spirituality, not theory, lived experiences, okay? And at the core of it, it's energetic sovereignty, right? So not just taking your power back in a slogan sense, right? But understanding how energy moves beneath the surface, okay? Like tectonic plates shaping entire continents. Every person in this dynamic, going back to the situation, this dynamic is holding up a mirror for the others. We are all reflections of each other, okay? There's always something to be learned or grow from within others, okay? So each one is a key. It's like key holders, and then you get the key, you've learned the lesson, you move on, being it a situation that you feel was horrible or something of growth. Now let's jump to sexual energy confusion and misinterpretation. Okay, one layer of confusion here comes from sexual energy, which is, always, we are energetically all connected to everything in this world is energy, right? And we find people attractive, or, you get into relationships, or you're doing a hookup, what have you. So it's everywhere, okay? You're watching corn. I'm so bad at keeping the YouTube clean. All right, so one layer of confusion here comes from sexual energy, especially feminine sexuality. So healthy feminine sexual energy can look narcissistic at times to someone who doesn't understand it, okay? Because a woman who feels herself, values herself, and knows she is desirable does not apologize for that. We do not apologize for that. She embraces it without shame or guilt, and is never for manipulation, but just embodying her true essence as a whole, which male should be doing this, female should be doing it. This comes with confidence. Comes with knowing thyself, right? As a whole. So, but just embodying her true essence, which we as a society need to recognize that there is a difference, right? So we don't make judgment, assumptions, or misinterpret someone's being in their whole true self, okay? So that doesn't make her a narcissist, okay? That makes her embodied. And we really need to be careful with the word narcissist, okay? Like, word to all the wise, you guys, selfishness is like the start of a narcissist. And there are 9 different traits of narcissism, all the way up to like sociopath, psychopath, okay? I just think we need to slow up on the word narcissist. And mind you, that can be even just someone being in their pride and not being awoken to even their healing yet, and acting out or being immature. There are so many levels, right? And there's also then perspective of what I'm going to think of that and what that person's going to think of it. So let's be careful on the word narcissism. We all are little narcs, actually. Like literally being selfish is a form of narcissism. So Just putting that out there, so let's be kinder. For someone to think a woman that is fully embodying her true essence, some problems can arise when desire is confused with love, right? Lust is confused with love. Lust masquerades as spirituality. Sexuality is moralized or shamed, okay? Or used to control others. That's a big one. We have to be careful of that, okay? Everything has a proper place and a proper amount, right? It is balance. It is finding balance. It is asking questions, not making assumptions. It is looking at someone and maybe saying, wow, like that is confidence, And we can then, look at ourselves and say, instead of feeling jealousy, feel like I want to be that confident within myself. We have to start seeing these things, guys. Now, let's hop to the masculine energy. Low yang, like yin and yang. So having low yang and manufactured power, manufactured being the key word, and going along with power. So for many of you, the masculine energy, and remember, we all have masculine and feminine inside of us, okay? So being a full looking like a woman, you can sit fully in your masculine, and that's where people I think can be like, oh, she's narcissistic, and some are. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Definitely some are, and they want to thrive in that, and that's when you need to back away from those types of people because they are not ready to learn or see anything outside of their one lane of a mindset. So, and that's not your responsibility. It is not our responsibility to change people's mindset and make them grow. It's not our responsibility. That's the side note. Okay. Maybe at this time, the men, and for many of you, right, the masculine energy involved here is struggling with yang. Okay, yang energy is difficult to cultivate, so don't feel bad about it. And maybe this is the first time you guys are hearing it, which is, great. So it's built through resistance, boundaries, and self-definition. Okay, when yang is weak, power gets manufactured instead of embodied, right? It's like we then are looping in our minds of what we think, or seeing what we think power needs to be, or cultivating that yang, right? And we lose the connection to the body, which is, and I know that it's hard because the logical mindset in men is a lot stronger. You guys are built to think logically, so you're falling now back more into your feminine and feeling within your body so you can make those intuitive knowings. And side note, you guys, even the older generations, even like my father, men, and we all know, men were not raised to feel, pretty much. And that's such an unfortunate piece, right? And so there's a lot of feeling that is happening in this era for the men, right? It's overwhelming, I'm sure, but it's necessary. It is necessary for you guys, because we don't want you have to sit in your worth is not your work. Your worth is not, structuring your life around the family that maybe you're not like happy in. Just making the money. That is not your worth. You must feel to understand what your needs and wants truly are. For true happiness, it is all a balance. And this is why God is saying the men, we are releasing that ego to be used properly and to fall back into the feelings so we can construct our lives with a balanced knowing of our intuitive knowing of what we want, along with a practical, logical mindset. That is the overall balance, right? And that's why even you see the women stepping more into their masculine side, being strong around, firm with their boundaries, firm with their words. No is a whole statement, such as that. But yes, we don't want to fall too deep, too far into narcissism, right? Or thinking there needs not to ever be a control factor around any of these feelings, right? This is to balance that yin and the yang, even within the feminine and the masculine within, okay? And yes, it's a lot. And you guys, more than half of us, the men, you guys are empaths. You feel more deeply, and that is necessary. It's okay. Some of you are healers. And I know a lot of men out there do feel strongly. They have the feelings. And a lot of them have been told to suppress, to push down. And what happens then, you guys? It has to come out of us some way, some form. It is going to turn into anger. It's like the road rage you see. It's the need to fulfill that, like, too much energy is like coming out of you to fill it with sexual needs, or, you know, even overeating, or, you know, over exercise. It's because you're not allowing them to be vulnerable and exactly what they are, to feel them, to cry it out, to talk it out. This is where God is saying he wants you guys to feel these emotions and not to feel shame. And I know it's a big thing to have to mentally get your mind wrapped around that, but it's so necessary and it's okay. This is what we're doing. So that's what I'm about to say right here. So when the yang is weak, right, when we're not feeling the emotions the way that they're supposed to be felt and released, that power then gets manufactured instead of embodied, right? So we're not able, we run off of control. You're running off of like control, what you're seeing on the outside to be, right? Like the power is what? Control, and like to like almost like make people feel less than, or like manipulate or be strategic. And that is where that ego and that mindset, that power force is not being used properly, right? Because we are not embodying the empathy, the feeling, the connection to even other people's feelings. So that is why yes, it is harder for you guys, because it has not even been said it's okay almost, you know? And these things, when it's just getting manufactured or pushed aside or like thrown through something, you know, like a bulldoze coming through, it can look like inducing third party situations, right? Because you're like needing the release, but we're not doing it with self, right? So we're inducing third party situations. We're wanting to be fought over even, right? Withholding desire, breaking women emotionally to feel like the sanctuary, right? So this goes into your relationship. This goes into the family dynamic. This goes into career. This is, you know, partnerships. It's all encompassing. And with that, that's not leadership, right? That is not wholesome leadership, right? It is being mistaken as that. It's a stronghold. It is a stronghold, and it is not beneficial to your own growth, right? So it becomes a lack. And then but like, okay, and I really want this to be clear, like this, I say this with love. I say this with love because this is going to be one of the biggest releases and understandings that you guys, of your own growth, of your own confidence, of your own humility. And when we realize this, and when we allow ourselves to surrender that and release the way that our body emotionally and properly needs to, right? Our mind eases. We can sit back and understand ourselves, and nothing can break you then. You are balancing. You are choosing to make yourself whole. For example, when we don't choose to self-soothe, to self-understand, and to heal those emotions, those like those deeper traumas even, right? And we're trying to put a stronghold over our emotions at all times, and we're always in control, and we're always correct, and, you know, we know all kind of thing. Women do it too, you guys. That's them being too much in their masculine, and they as well need to fall back into their feminine. So it creates these things. Can then, when you get into relationships, it can create trauma bonds, right? Adult trauma bonds, all right? And it's not intimacy. It's not intimacy with yourself. It's not going to be intimate with others, you know? And this is on all levels of intimacy, you know? Like starting with being empathetic, to feel even that empathy for self. How can we do for others in that way if we don't know it ourselves? So when we choose to take care of ourselves and want to understand the emotions that are never going to go away, you guys, they're not going to go away. They are there in your body at all times. We don't want to have triggers anymore. That is fulfilling yourself on levels that no one can touch you. You know, no one will trigger you any longer when you are choosing to dive into yourself and be the vulnerable piece. It does not have to be in front of everyone. This is for your self growth, okay? Because we want to come to a wholesomeness of that balance. That is immediate growth. That is immediate confidence. No one then can take that from you. It will not, nothing outside of you will be bothered. And that is what the intuition going in, healing thyself, understanding thyself is going to be the biggest growth, especially for men. And I know it can feel like a stretch, but it's doable. And it's necessary, guys. You then can have healthier relationships with your female, with, you know, your same sex, what have you, right? Because you are tapped in, tuned in, okay? That is the overall, like, the growth. And we have to know our feelings. We have to like submit to them. You surrender, you release. The release alone of, like, I'm not trying to control, right? And what is even, like, connecting to the Most High God? Surrendering, giving up, like, you know, the stress, the burdens. So allow yourself, give yourself that pleasure. It will feel an immense amount of just, like, release from the mind. I'm telling you right now, us women love and want that for you, from you, to be connected. A male that is connected to their feelings and not trying to suppress or control, because it turns into a control, right? Because you're manufacturing the feelings and what that turns into is, you know, the stress, the anxiety, the confusion. You are confusing your body. You're confusing what you're supposed to be releasing. So, and then you know what you want. You are moving with even that ebb and flow of that universe, because you are feeling everything. You are feeling everything. So you can make the logical and practical decisions. And I'm telling you, your woman will love that. And that is how you can even be, like, telepathically connected. And you guys, everything is clearer. Everything is clearer. Everything is, you can understand things. You can feel energies from other people. Sexual encounters will be heightened or better. You will know what your body truly wants in a connection with someone else, and what it will reject and what is not meant for you. Okay? And this is all aspects, you know, this is your intuition. This is understanding the intuition. This is feeling something before even having to make that decision, to know when to even to feel the red flags from someone else, right? To feel the manipulation from someone else, you know, to feel the love and the happiness from someone else, and then being able to even talk about that, discuss that, and get to grow stronger bonds with and around your life, in all areas of your life. You will understand you and others more than even, you know, others are maybe ready to understand themselves. This is where we're all getting to. We all are really needing to tap in and not feel judged by it, and not feel. And if you are getting that from other people, you release them. There you go. There's the practice. Release. Okay, we are not here to harness other people's growth in that manner, okay? Or for them to judge us with what we're doing with ours. This is solely for yourself. Every single person in this world needs to be doing this. This is how you will grow tremendously. In all aspects, you will feel good. The confidence is there because you know who and what you want. And when you are tapped in to your emotions and balancing those, right, with the logical practical mindset that we all, you know, are in all the time, this is your way to the Most High. This is your way to spirit, to really then know direction in your life and where you need to go, and to be protected and guided, okay? Because, you know, we ourselves, our ego will only take you so far, right? And we don't want to trip down those, the garden path or whatever yes, I know, I should know that. The deception, the deceiving, the manipulating, the wrongdoings that we then, had to, learn again, the lesson, all these things. To be tapped in is the most important part. And that is truly spirituality. And God is saying, and he has said this before, and like I said, the younger men in our world right now are stepping up and doing the hard work. The diving into their emotions and not giving a crap on what people are going to think of them. And I'm telling you guys, when people project and push judgment on others, it is a fear base within themselves that they are lacking and they cannot do. So if you need to suppress anything, you're gonna suppress shit like that. We're just not having it, okay? Everyone should be doing this. This is how you make your way up and out, okay? Of all the stressors, the anxiety, all the above, to fully connect with yourself, which will fully connect you to the Most High, your intuition, all the above. It is lovely. To all the men that are tapping in and not caring what the outside world is worried about, bravo. Keep going. And yes, I know the towers and the traumas and the outside noise, it's a lot. But it's not your responsibility to even recognize it. What is she say? We can see it, right, on the outside, but we don't need to hear it. We don't need to consume it. And I'm telling you right now, to my men and women, this is the empathic road. Most of us are empaths. Once you tap in, you are empathic. Like that. That's being tapped and tuned in. Okay, you are feeling everything to be able to make the conscious choices in your life that are best for only you. Okay, we are breaking out of the matrix. All the noise, the distractions, the unhappiness that just settles around us, and we think that we need to be confined to it. Nope. Be your own waymaker. Speak the truth. When you speak the truth, that is the highest frequency. That is the highest frequency. When you lie, you are staying stagnant and low vibrational. A lie, just one lie, keeps you in low vibingness. And guess what you attract? Low vibing people. And when you get high vibe, you attract high vibing people that know themselves. It is beautiful. That is what God wants for all of us. And he will help you, guide you. There is no shame around this. This is pure joy. And no one is putting a halt to our joy. This is also why you have free will. You're in that shitty relationship. You're in that shitty marriage. It's not working for you anymore. Your soul is urging you, get out of it. Speak your truth. Because I'm telling you right now, you will get so uncomfortable by the Most High to get out of it. When do we actually make changes? When we get so uncomfortable in a situation, in a work environment, in that family dynamic, in that relationship, right? And you will be pushed out of it. That is when you finally crack, right? And you have to make the change. You then totally speak your truth on a whole nother level. That might be a little aggressive, but it's because your soul will not let you sit there. The Most High will not let you sit there forever in like a negative, low vibing situation. I know a lot of you guys know this, and I know comfortability is not so comfortable when it is feeling stressful, put more anxiety. You're going outside of the relationship to get your needs met, your wants met. No, because you are then building karma for yourself that you have to shed. And yeah, that's how that works too. Or you're gonna get caught up in some just like a worse divorce or something. Like, it's messy and it's unnecessary. take the strides now in your life, in this lifetime, get out of your own way and make the changes, because you still have to do the action. You still have to do the action. Stop waiting till you crack. You need, everyone, this is for every single human being. When two partners stay together, say in an unhappy marriage, or if you are in an unhappy job situation, or you're staying in a family dynamic that is belittling you, is using you for your money, is siphoning off of you, what have you. This is lowering the vibration, the frequency of the world. So stop playing what you think is nice and comfortable when it is misery. Remove yourself. This is your one life to live, you guys. And half the time, if it's misery like that, it's not your soulmate. It's not your twin flame. It's not your person altogether. Living as roommates, then just be friends. Or just be done with the whole thing. It's keeping you kept. We're not making any more excuses for our own unhappiness, because we keep ourselves kept as well. And then we have no one to blame but ourselves, right? So you can't even always wait for the Most High to push you out. It's going to be 10 times worse. Those are the towers. Okay, so last and final, you guys. I love you all. Okay, Divine Feminine, self-love and critical discernment. For the Divine Feminines especially, you are not here to submit your discernment. Critical thinking is not cruelty, right? And men, by the way, don't you want us to be intelligent? Come on. Literally, the older the men get, you need to suffice, even in bed, right? You need the woman to mentally be there, to rile you up, to communicate. So I looked it up. You guys, this is a side note. So for mental, psychological or mental arousal, right? So we have our basic, the mental stimulation, the everyday, which is non-clinical way of a natural arousal, right? Every day. Okay, and then the cognitive arousal, driven by thoughts, fantasy, imagination, emotional connection, right? And then there's psychological or mental arousal, what is needed, right? When we get older, that mental stimulation within sexual encounters. So it's called psychogenic arousal that originates in the brain rather than from direct physical touch. And just think, that's what I'm saying. It's don't you want to be with your person forever? Forever. They're going to get older. You have to be in tune. I'm just saying, you want always, there should be always in your life to be connected and have the stimulation, not only just from the physical touch, not just, from looking or seeing or a fantasy, right? Creating it in our minds, but it's just when we get older, it's just another form of deeper connection, right? And you even want that when you're young to connect. We like verbal communication and during sexual encounters, right? Okay. I do. Okay. It's just another form to be connected, right? To your person. I'm just saying. All right. So that was a side note. Okay. Back to the Divine Feminines. We're almost done. Okay, so critical thinking is not cruelty. I mean, it doesn't have to be critical thinking in bed, but I just, you want to be there. You want to be mentally there, right? Okay, so judgment rooted in emotion is distortion, okay? But discernment rooted in truth is wisdom. We want to have wisdom. And where does wisdom come from? Yeah, I mean, obviously, experience and over the years, but true, we're talking ancestral wisdom, that's being fully connected. But I'm just saying, discernment to make choices, right? To know what is best and, intuitively or just logically, right, is rooted in truth, which is wisdom. Okay, to be in the highest frequency is truth. So You are allowed to see clearly. You are allowed to question. You are allowed to choose yourself. And this, you guys, this is for men as well, always. Okay. So for both men and women, your sexual energy, and why being so tapped into it is so important, you know, just your energy alone is important, okay? Belongs to you. Belongs to you, okay? So it's Aries energy. Sovereign, alive, self-directed, right? Knowing thyself, thy body, in and out, right? In and out. So you may share it. You may share it, but you do not surrender ownership of it. And we don't. No one owns anyone. I'm sorry. We are not in the slave days. Okay? We may think so. So that's siphoning energy, though. That's like being what people do, though, in this day and age. That is thinking that people own people and can siphon their energy without their consent, which obviously we're not doing that. Okay. So you may share it, but you do not surrender ownership of it. Your energy, being you are a man or a woman, belongs to you, not to the opposite sex. Okay, not to doctrine, and finally, not to patriarchy. Okay. So the final integration. This situation wasn't about winning. If we're going back to, you know, the whole situational moment of third parties or seeking outside of thyself, right? When we aren't even recognizing thyself or feeling thyself or learning, all the above, okay? So the situation wasn't about winning. It's never about winning or control. It's not about being chosen. It's about remembering who you belong to. Your body, your energy, your desire, your sovereignty, your divinity, okay? It's yours and yours alone. Okay, and once that snaps into place, right? Once that visceral knowing lands, the confusion dissolves, right? Even the mental confusion dissolves. It's peaceful. It is wholesomeness, okay? Not because everything becomes perfect, no, but because you become grounded in yourself. The pure, like, overall, like, joy I think that we can fully have is to be fully grounded in ourselves, right? And when you are grounded in yourself, nothing outside of you can harm you, can be triggered. It really can't, because you are so complete. You're balanced. You are balanced. Okay? And that brings in that grounding. It's like people that can stand in meditation in a crowd of people, like, and just be grounded within and not have anxiety, right? They're grounding within themselves. It's like, like be the Buddha within, right? And that's the real sanctuary. Being our own sanctuary, you guys, is everything, okay? So I hope that helped. I love all of you. And yeah, tap in, tune in, okay? You're worth it. You are worth it, all right? Make those decisions. Get out of the bad situations. You ain't got time for it, okay? Choose you. I love you guys. Be your own sanctuary, okay? And then you have the home on top of it, and then you get to be around the people that you want to be around, and like you're just like happy. Choose your happiness. Choose your joy. Don't let anyone steal your joy. That's what God was saying. Don't let anyone steal your joy. Your joy is yours and yours alone, okay? I love you guys. Have the best day ever. Bye.